Today is a pretty cool day. I'm going to be turning my compost pile for the first time. I haven't had a look at it, I haven't peeked, I haven't turned it, I've done nothing. So I want to turn it, share it with you, and let's see what it gives us. Just some background, this is a bokashi based compost pile. So it's not traditional hot compost pile out in the sun with a tarp over that bakes and all of that. This is purely a cold microorganism based compost pile. So what we're doing here is we're taking more time, but we're having ultimately a healthier compost that is filled with a lot more life and substantially more living organisms compared to just burning everything, which gives you compost but doesn't give you living compost, quite like the bokashi does. If you haven't seen the video that I did on putting the compost pile together, I'll link it up for you at the top here. This is very simple, pretty straightforward, doesn't actually take a lot of space and works really well. So I hope you're excited as I am. Let's go check it out and see what we find. Okay, so this is what the top of the compost pile looks like. You can see some fresh corn cuttings, waste. There's some radishes. There's some paper from the last bokashi bin that's on top of that. Yeah, it's just basically all layered. So I'm going to grab the fork and we are going to give this a good turnover and let's see what it looks like. So now we have it turned around. You can see very clearly how much of it has actually broken down. It is so light and fluffy, it really is, and there's a lot of stuff mixed in between because obviously we've mixed it and we've been layering it so it's not all broken down, but there's no food scraps in here, nothing whatsoever. It's completely broken down. So what we're going to be doing here is we're going to keep layering it. So straight after this we're going to put another layer of bokashi on with paper, and we're just going to keep layering it, and in another 3 to 4 months we turn it again, and then we'd reach a point where we're at the height we want, and then we'll just leave the whole system to decompose completely. So the only other thing I want to mention to you is it's really hard to capture it in the video obviously, but the smell, it smells like beautiful soil. There is not a single smell of rot. It's really surprisingly rich in its smell. It smells like a forest floor. You can see if I squeeze it, holds its shape, crumble it, it just falls apart. So this is pretty much perfect compost. You really need to consider doing bokashi in an urban environment. Yeah, well, I knew bokashi worked, but that is really awesome. The biggest thing is that smell. That smell is just absolutely amazing. So what I'm going to do now is let's go get the next bokashi bin. Let's tap out the fluid, weigh it up. I'm going to quickly dump it on, take you through that process again, just to show you how it all works, keep reinforcing it, and then hopefully that's inspired you to do some urban composting. I would guesstimate that there's close to 70 kilos of food waste in there. You tally that up, 70 kilos going to landfill. That's from one household in 4 months. That's crazy actually. That makes such a difference. So the plan is to let that grow, let it get as high as I want it to get, and come springtime that's all going to go all over the garden. No need to buy any compost that you don't know where it comes from, you don't know what it's in it. It's your compost, you've made it from your food scraps, proudly your own. Come, let's go weigh up the next bokashi bin. First things first, let's weigh it up and see how much compost we have from last month. Okay, 19.5 kilos. Okay, that's quite a bit. Now let's take a look at how much compost tea we get out of it. If you haven't watched my video on bokashi, I'm going to link it up for you. It's something you really should watch. It gives a lot of insight and detail into how to do it. But let's for now open this up and see how much tea we are working with. I don't know how much of the color you can see on the camera, but it's pretty damn good. And this one isn't smelly at all. No smell. Nope. Sweet fermented smell, no rotten smell. Okay, so compost tea. It's free. This is a 2-liter bottle. That is, I would say, just over half, so just over a liter of compost tea. This is mixed 300 to 1 and put in your garden, so this will be able to feed my entire garden. And it was free, so you'll see there's no pieces floating in it. It's a really rich color, and like I showed earlier, when I smelt it, there isn't a rotten smell. It's a sweet fermented smell. So let's empty the bokashi bin into the compost, see what that looks like, and then layer it and finish things off. So before I add this to the compost pile, let's have a look and see what it actually looks like. Oh, how good does that look? And as with the tea, this has got a sweet fermented smell. It's not a rotten smell. If you have a rotten smell, there's too much air in here. You haven't compressed it down with a masher or something like that. But as I'm moving this around, there's no rotten smells. You might be cringing at the thought of me doing this, but look there, it just comes off and what's left is a little bit of dust. It's not rotting food. Look at that. Now that is a whole bunch of food waste that is going to break down pretty damn quickly. Don't want to get my hands too mushy, but as we break this open, oh, there's so much goodness in here. And as I've opened it and you have a look, you can see the vegetables are still pretty much whole. Some of them have started to decompose. But the whole idea here is that it's fermented. It has started the breakdown process. And as soon as this comes into contact with the other soil and the carbon layer, it decomposes incredibly quickly, like you've seen. Now this is some of the finished stuff like we've had a look at. It's beautiful, beautiful stuff. So I'm going to spread this out, layer it, and then we're done. If you're wondering, these are from our neighbor. They shred a lot of personal documents, so we said instead of throwing them away, give them to us. We'll compost them for you. And then the only step left is to water this. You want the paper to go down, get moist, start breaking down, and give that cover. Just a light watering. As you can see, there was quite a bit of liquid in the bokashi left over, so just to get the paper wet on top. So just before we end off, I want to give a shout out to Earth Probiotic. They're the suppliers of bokashi in South Africa, where I bought all of my stuff from. When they watched the video of me putting together the compost bin, they saw that the bottom mesh hasn't worked properly. You can see, and I mentioned in the video, that all of the legs broke off. So they have subsequently redesigned the whole system, and they were kind enough to send me the new one. And the new one, the legs are solid. Moving them, they don't flinch at all. So thank you very much. I can see this is way sturdier than the previous one. Yeah, so if you saw, I mentioned it's broken. They have since improved the mesh drain pad at the bottom, so don't be worried about that. So thanks again for watching. I hope this was quite cool. It's something different. You got to see the same time I got to see what the compost is doing. We did another little quick show and tell on the Bokashi weigh-in. Saw how much compost tea, which these plants are gonna love. We've got a few nice winter videos planned, so please subscribe so you can get those videos, you can watch them, get notified of them. Please drop a comment if you've got any questions relating to Bokashi composting, myself, Earth Probiotic, any of the other people that do Bokashi. I'll happily find the answers for you.